for it. It doesn't exist. I mean, if you want to go read the real one, go for it. My dad would probably like it if someone cleaned it. All right. Next up, we have Colton.
Yes, sir.
Some first impressions. That's okay. Whenever you're ready, you go.
What do I press?
It's just the arrow key and the space bar.
Okay. All right. My name is Colton Rich. My presentation is over first impressions. When I think of first impressions, I think of like what you're leaving the person as the idea of you, or what you're trying to portray to them in that moment, like a meeting or an interview. And when researching, I found 4 key things that you can look after and to try to nail that first impression. First, we have the handshake. When doing the handshake, you want to be confident. You don't want to look nervous, or you don't want to seem very shy when giving the handshake. You want to seem like you are ready and you want to give that handshake. Be firm with your handshake. Don't give them some limp-wristed, crappy handshake that says, like, I don't want to do this. Like, just be firm, be confident with it. Third, give eye contact, like Grant was saying. Don't look away. Don't look down on the ground. Shake their hand and look them right in the eye. Fourth thing would be stand with proper posture. Don't be slouching when you give your handshake. Stand up tall. Shake their hand. And lastly, smile. Just goes without saying. Second thing we have is the conversation, the productiveness and relevance. Relevant progression. And what I mean by that is, let's say you're in an interview or someone's just talking to you and they ask a question like, what's your hobbies, or something along those lines. Don't sway off that topic. Don't talk about your day or something after that. Don't bring something else up. Just stay on course. They're asking you questions. They want to know about you, so just let them know. Second, we have attention to details. They're wanting to learn about you, the other person. They want to get information out of you. So whenever you're paying attention to what they're asking you, or paying attention to what they're telling you, it could benefit you later in that conversation or the future. It's important to understand everything that you're being told. Third, we have confidence in what you're saying. Say it with your chest. Don't just say something and kind of just leave it out there, or kind of murmur it out of your mouth. Say it and mean it. And lastly, in this is body language. Like people say, your body and your actions speak a lot louder than words. So when you're talking, make sure you're really looking like you're engaged and looking confident and happy in what you're saying. Third, we have eye contact. Have a meaningful look. What I mean by that is either smile or have a smile with your eyes is what I would say. Don't just give them some weird gaze or some wide eyes. Give them some, meaningful look. When researching, I found the imaginary triangle example that they had given me. People that struggle with giving eye contact or they think it's awkward, there's a trick. You basically draw a triangle with your right eye, left eye, and your mouth, and you kind of just pick a spot and stare at that spot if you're not totally comfortable just staring at them or looking at them. But yeah. Third in this, we have what they said, bonding with the eyes. When they're talking, instead of just looking at them or just staring at them, kind of give them some looks like, yeah, that was interesting, or wow, that's super cool information. That's what they mean by bonding with the eyes. And I kind of already mentioned this, but no weird gazes. Don't kind of just sit there and look like you're just there. Like, act like you want to be there and give them a meaningful look. And then lastly, conversation again is sealing the deal. Like I said, my example that I would give in the beginning would be like an interview or a meeting. So especially in these situations, don't leave with a cliffhanger, like in a movie, like when a big old plot happens and you're waiting for the end and they just dip, they don't tell you. That's kind of what we're talking about. If you're in a conversation and they're like wrapping things up and you're like, all right, thank you, bye. That's not right. Just leave them with a meaningful ending, or just not a cliffhanger. Second would be a meaningful response to a goodbye. When the meaningful response would be like their last question or something along those lines, you give a really, really thoughtful answer. Like, for example, they're saying like, what would you do in the future? You would say something super solid, and then you would leave with a really good goodbye, whether that's meeting in the future or so on. One more handshake. When researching, I found that it's, more successful meetings and better first impressions if you leave with one more handshake. That really shows that you're sealing the deal there. Offer another meeting. A lot of people don't offer another meeting when meeting someone for the first time. They kind of just say, all right, thank you, bye. Ask them if they want to meet in the future. Like, show them that you actually cared about your meeting. Show them that like you actually cared about the information that they were giving you, and so on. And then reassure them that, like I said, that you wanted to be there. Say, thank you so much for giving me this opportunity, for example. And yeah, that is my presentation.
Hey, thank you very much. Any questions or comments?
What's a good conversation starter?
A good conversation starter. I would say asking them why they work there. For example, like, what's your biggest motive for working at this place that I want to be at, in my opinion.
Good job.
Thank you.
Don't ask about jelly beans. I'll tell you that.
Don't ask about jelly beans. Okay. Next, let's go with Thomas. You're up. Thomas in his presentation is about dressing for success. I think Thomas is dressed for success today. It's okay. Don't give me, losing Josh here.
So, hello everybody, I am Thomas Harris, and I know we got a lot of people that dress pretty good in this classroom. It is very important. It's like making a first impression. You know, first impression is usually dictates from the way you dress, especially when you go into an interview. So there's gonna be a lot of concepts within this presentation that I'm about to talk about with the class that should help you improve your first image and where you can make a first impression, especially with the way you dress and where you work at. So first, dressing have a lot of important concepts. You know, it helps out a lot. So first, it improves your image. When you stay in front of your boss, for example, you want to be dressed professional, especially in corporate business. Everybody is pretty much dressed professionally, whether it's like, you know, a black blazer or something, or like some suit pants. You want to dress corporate, or if you're going to an interview, everybody usually have suits on. That's usually how they make their first impression, especially in like corporate or small business. But with small business, sometimes you can be like, no, business casual. You know, you don't really have to do much with that. Another one is you looking professional. You gotta look professional in like businesses or interviews or even in the workplace, because some images within the company is dictate from how you look, and you get to you most definitely represent that company from the way you look. So where you wear is how you represent the company's image. You gotta look neat and put together. Now, you can't go in there looking sloppy. Make sure everything is earned up. Make sure you just put together nice shoes, no scuff marks, earned pants, and everything else should be pretty nice. Next slide. So it's the differences between looking formal and having formal and casual attire. For like example, what Jeremy got on, it would be pretty casual. What I'm wearing or what Colin's wearing is pretty professional. And they have its differences, but it solely depends on where you're trying to work at. So for example, small businesses, a casual professional dress will most definitely be worth it within the business world. If you're trying to go more corporate or like work up in position, it will require you to dress pretty formal. But that's only vary between business to business. Some corporate business may say, hey, you can dress casual, but for the most part, they want you to dress pretty formal within their businesses. Let's see. So here's some couple of examples. So casual dress, I wish y'all really can't see it. So, I mean, necktie, suit jacket, nice slacks, like they've been oiled up with, earned pants with a nice tie, a nice haircut. You know, you might have your pen or your suitcase, and then you got dress in business, casual. I mean, it could be easy like you're dressing to go to school. I mean, I've been doing it for years. So you got your little khaki pants, you got a nice belt with slacks, you got a nice haircut, polo shirt, you can include a suit jacket or tie, but it's optional. Anything is optional, especially with the women. You can dress like Kelly, you would be fine if you decide to dress in one of those two, or you can dress like Sarah. They usually consider that a business, casual dressing. And it's a couple of do's and don'ts what you want to do. So first, what you want to do is have a well-tailored suit, jacket, dark pants, or coordinated belt. So it can be like black or brown, but make sure you're kind of matching. But you don't want to have wrinkles, you don't want it to be too tight, or you don't want to wear a long shirt that's under your jacket. That's for formal, but casual, you want to stay professional, you can do it, even though it's optional. But you want to, everything just pretty casual. Slacks, polo shirts, sweaters, you name it. But just don't have running shoes on, or don't have tank tops, or like a casual t-shirt. Even though it's casual professional, you're still trying to keep a professional look, and you're still trying to represent the company and meet their dress code and criteria. And that's pretty much the whole presentation there.
Do you have any questions for Thomas? So there's a lot of good information in there about dressing professionally for work. That was great. The only thing I would add is sometimes business casual, you can wear jeans if the company is okay with it, but like nice jeans, not ripped up jeans, things like that. Okay, great job. All right, next up is gonna be Ben.
Yes, sir.
Ben is going to talk to us about stocks and cryptocurrency.
Wow.
A little different today.
Elon Musk up there, my guy.
I'm going to go talk to my broker.
All right, Jeremy,
Yes,
do you like money?
I do like money.
So do I. But do you invest?
What's investing? I don't.
You don't. But how would you like it if your money worked for you?
Ooh, that'd be better than sweet potato pie. I'll tell you that.
Exactly. So the first way to invest is through stocks. And the most common one that we should be investing in, people our age, are index funds. An example of this would be the S&P 500, which takes an index of the top 500 companies, and then it just goes off a scale off that. As you can see, like over time, it should grow because that's how the stock market really works. I personally own one of these shares, SPY, and I bought it at the low point down here because I knew the market was going to go up. So when you see deals like that in the market, it's always a good time to buy in. And then you need goals if you want to invest, but investment goals looks different for everybody. When it goes, it is based off age, income, like how much you're looking for and how much you want to invest. And then the outlook, just basically just what you're looking for. But most people our age look for like the investment goals as like paying off loans or looking to buy their first car or house. And stocks are regulated by the Federal Trade Commission. Next is cryptocurrency. The thing about this is that it's very unpredictable since it is unregulated by the Federal Trade Commission. And there's often scams that happen in this marketplace. The most common type of cryptocurrency scam is called a rug pull. It is when the creator of a coin or a cryptocurrency takes money out of something called a liquidity pool, which basically everyone who buys into this token, and if someone just takes out all that money, it causes something like this where it just drops off instantly in a matter of seconds. So that's the reason why I don't invest in cryptocurrency. And another cryptocurrency scam is called a pump and dump. They have something similar to this in the stock market, where they find a cryptocurrency that they can buy like for very low, and then they create hype around it. And once it gets to a sell point, that's when everyone holding it from the accumulation stage sells it right away, causing people to lose a lot of money. There has been reports of rug pulls and pump and dumps making millions of dollars. And since it's unregulated, a few people get caught or arrested for this. So that's why I just don't get involved. Similar to a pump and dump, but in stock market terms, it's called insider trading. It's where stocks are traded off tips, and usually tips are about like earnings about a company in a quarter, or a new CEO stepping in that could change the price of a stock. And if you get caught insider trading, you could face up to 20 years in prison because the FTC does not take it lightly. It's usually frowned upon in the industry because the market is basically just a gamble, and everyone is at the same level playing field. So any advantage is kind of like counting cards in a casino, and the ones that have the advantage usually make the most money. So, and then in conclusion, yesterday was the best time to start investing because the market's only going to go up from here. There are many ways to get started. Like myself, for example, I joined my grandpa's investment group in December, where 25 of us put money together and we vote on a stock that we buy for that month. And the club was started in 1985, and the club's value is over $2 million. So, and Robinhood is the best way to get started, since you can just download the app on your phone and you can buy and sell stocks there. There, my stuff.
Okay, there's something on here that I agree with probably 1,000%. Let's start investing now, okay? By the time all of you retire one day, there will be no Social Security. You're gonna pay into it and it's not gonna happen. You have to invest now if you want to retire at all, at some point, okay? Do it. I had awesome people in my life that made me start investing early, like literally made me, and I'm so happy they did. So, do that. Great job. Any questions for Ben? Awesome. Thank you, Ben.
Little snaps there. Snaps for being. All right. Next, it's gonna be Jared Byers.
Active listening.
All right, so just to start it off, I'll give you guys a little statistic. So did you know people spend 70 to 80% of their day engaged in some form of communication? And about 55% of their time is devoted to listening. So that's a lot of time out of our day devoted to communication alone. This statistic shows how important hearing is. However, what if I told you that there is something more beneficial to us than just hearing? With that being said, talking about the importance of active listening. So active listening includes responses that demonstrate that you understand what the other person is trying to tell you about his or her experience. I'm going to be talking about the 3 A's of active listening. The first one is attitude. When we respect everyone, we tend to look beyond our perceived notions, and overall that becomes we become better listeners. Number 2 is attention. To be a good listener, we must have good attention. However, many of us struggle with the attention span. So we can practice that though with certain exercises to help hold our attention to the speaker. And number 3 is adjustment. Adjustment in listening is nothing but keeping an open mind. When we keep an open mind and ready to invest our time, we adapt to the situation and become a overall better listener. So active listening skills and techniques, and one's paying attention. Give the speaker your undivided attention the whole time. Look at the speaker, put aside distracting thoughts, and listen to the speaker's body language. Show that you're listening. So use your own body language and gestures to show that you're engaged with the speaker. Just simple nods, smiles. Make sure that your posture is open and interested. Also provide feedback. Our personal filters, assumptions, beliefs, judgments, it can distort like what we hear overall. So as a listener, we must understand what is being said to us directly, ask questions, and clarify points. And the fourth one would be defer judgment. Allow the speaker to finish what each point or what they're trying to say directly. Don't interrupt with like counter arguments. Oops. And respond appropriately. We must be open and honest in the responses. Assert your opinions respectfully, and I think this one's really important. Just treat the other person in a way you think that they would want to be treated. Inclusion practice is the key to active listening. Active listening builds strength. It builds strong relationship, and while it may not come naturally to a lot of us, it's a communication skill that we must try to master overall. It will take determination and again practice, but it would be well worth it in both your professional and your personal life. So, thank you.
All right. Any questions, Derek? Okay. Thank you. Go. Seems. See, we have two left, right? I told Jeremy he had to go last. So, Derek. Whenever you're ready, take it away.
My name is Derek Martinez, and I decided to do my presentation on the startup of a car shop. There's some different factors that come into play when deciding to start up a car shop. One of the first ones is the finance that comes with it. A couple of the things you have to think about with the cost would be like location tools, marketing strategies, partnerships, and employees. For locations, I had found a shop in Frisco, Texas that had 11,000 square feet, and that cost around $550,000, which is pretty good. It had 5 bay areas, and you could either use 5 bay areas to work on the cars, or you could just use 4 and have more stores. Tools, basic tools will cost you around $15,000. A car lift will cost you around $4,000 each, and then other equipment like alignment tables, brake lathes, all that other stuff, those will cost you around $5,000 to $10,000. Marketing strategies, I would point a employee to do that. So the cost there would be their pay. And then partnerships would be like partnership with O'Reilly's or AutoZone, or with like a tool company with like DeWalt, Milwaukee, or Snap-on, where you just pay for the tools. And then obviously employees, because you have to pay them. And employees, mechanics in Texas make around $57,000 a year, which is $23 to $24 an hour. The next factor you have to think about is tools. So you have to get some vehicle lifts, get some air compressors, get some jacks, jack stands, and pole jacks. You got to get some oil drains and oil caddies, and as well as some impact tools, drills, sockets, ratchets, and screwdrivers. All these tools are really essential for any shop. You can't work in a shop without any of these tools. Like if you go to a shop, you would see they have all of these and more. Another factor would be partnerships. Like I said earlier, a partnership with an auto parts store would work really well with a car shop, because you can have it set up to where they have same day or next day delivery for any parts that you need for a certain car that you're working on. You can also have a partnership with a tool company, like having a partnership with Snap-on, Milwaukee, or DeWalt, so you can get any specific tools that you need to work on a car. And then you can also have partnership with a tire company, where obviously you need to change a tire. You have the tires right there. Tires aren't cheap. And then as well with a waste company, because dealing with cars comes with a lot of waste, and you want to deal with that waste properly and not just throw it and ruin the environment. Another thing you have to think about is location. You gotta find somewhere where it's convenient for customers to get to. You don't want them to have to drive a whole lot or have to do a whole bunch of turns to get to your spot. Try to find one that's on the main road. And if you can't find one that's on the main road, use signage to attract people there. Like y'all drive by a highway, y'all see a McDonald's sign. Just as well do the same with your shop. You should also find a spot that you can get trucks into, because you're gonna need trucks to drop off loads, like for parts and tires and any machinery that you need. And also, if you want to work on trucks, like diesel trucks make you a lot of money. And so you got to be able to fit those. And also do your zoning homework, because there's plenty of areas where you can't have a shop, because obviously you can't have a shop in the residential areas. They're too loud. Then we go on to employees. To find employees, you should post on an auto industry job board. With those boards, you could specifically find whatever mechanic you need. You can also post on social media or partner with a local trade school. I would believe the trade school is the best option, because you could go to the school and speak to the students and tell them, hey, I need this specific mechanic, and they will start training on that. And that way they'll have a job already lined up as soon as they're out of school. Or you can host a workshop on auto skills where they come to you and you train them on what you want. And finally, we have customer relationships. You need to be able to listen to your customers, because obviously happy customers not going to come back. You need to request the preferred communication method. So whether that's text, call, email, or face-to-face, whichever way is best for you to communicate with them. And also send regular service reminders. So let them know, hey, you're coming up on an oil change, or you're coming up on some brake change or a tire change. And as well as provide real-time update information to keep the customers informed. Like obviously you guys want to stay informed on what the progress of your car is, not just have a car in your shop for 3 weeks and not say anything to the customer. And that is it.
Yeah, how hard is it to change blinker fluid?
Oh my God.
Difficult.
Okay, Jeremy. Further reasons you had to go last is because I'm at the mirror displays for the Kahoot. So. Yeah, no, but he does. He's gonna log in.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead and get logged into the Kahoot so we can get that set up.
Just a reminder, right after this, there is right our academic awards, chapel in the next room with food, and extra credit if you are in any of my classes, or any of my classes. So if you need some extra credit for accounting, just saying.
Classic mode, and then we won't have music playing in the back, right?
No, so click on that down there.
All right. Oh, I hear it. I'm just gonna, there we go.
There you go. And then if you want to maximize it. All right, Jeremy, you got about 10 minutes.
All right, so my presentation is about public speaking. And the first thing I want to tell you guys right now is that this is an interactive presentation. That means your phones need to be out for my presentation. Sweet, thank you. I just want to start this presentation off with a joke, you know? And I just thought it would just lighten the mood before we get into it. So, two whales run into each other in the ocean. Two whales run into each other in the ocean, right? You know, they're not actually running into each other. And the first whale, he goes, right? And the second whale goes, why would you say that? Right? So, did you like that joke? Go ahead, you can scan the QR codes. Saying yes takes you somewhere different than you saying no. Please be completely honest. Your answers are completely anonymous, so don't worry if you hated my joke. So, why did I tell that joke? Just because I wanted to waste time? No, I'm totally kidding. It's because one of the first things about public speaking, when you get up here, you have to grab the attention of the audience. What I just did was an attention grabber, you know? Grabbing the attention of an audience is very, very difficult, especially for larger crowds. If I was standing in a room of 3,000 people, that joke would have probably missed like 2,999 of them. Could have got one person. But the more engaging you are with your audience, the more engaged it would be with you. And that's when you show your spirit in a presentation. And plus, we live in an age of technology where you could do QR codes during your presentation, so they're always staying engaged. Presentations are really important. You may not know this, but you're selling yourself every time you run into someone. Whether it's your friend, whether it's a professor, or a next job prospect. No matter what, you are presenting yourself in some way, shape, or form. And when you do a formal presentation like this in front of people, there are only 38% of people are going to remember your voice. Maybe not even what you say, but your voice. 55% of people are going to remember the nonverbal communication. So I bet everyone in here remembers the whale noises. And 7% of people are actually going to remember what you put on your actual slides. So when you're making slides or you're making a presentation, graphics are really important just as well as you engaging with the audience. So let's say you're really good at public speaking. You know, you can stand up here and give a 5-minute speech why Greenville University is the best university to go to in the entire country, United States of America. That's great. Now, please apply that for every one of your interactions that you have with people that you run into every day, and not just people you're going to see once every 365 days. So you can always just, remember all your public speaking skills: standing, posture up, eye contact, handshake, keeping a proper distance, because COVID all showed us what 6 feet looks like. So some fun facts about public speaking or people in general is that 11% of people are more likely to like something if it starts with the same letter as their name. Just interesting fact. So I'm more likely to like Jared than Jared is to like balloons. So take that as you want. But also going into outside the presentation, outside of this format, is that you're going to still be meeting people. So you have to research the topic, whether that topic is the business itself, the slogan, the people you're interviewing, or just recent news, recent pop culture, just so you're not out the loop and you can clearly engage with someone in a conversation. Like, oh, raise your hand if you've seen the new Doctor Strange movie. Good, I can talk to you guys after class and we can discuss how good it was or really how bad it was. So always just having some information in the back of your head. You do not have to know everything, just a little bit about the most recent things. And most importantly, whether you're in a presentation or out of a presentation, tone is important. This entire time, I could have been yelling at the top of my lungs, and you guys would have probably thought, man, this dude is pretty angry that he has to present at 9:15 in the morning, and everyone has to pay attention to him, and all he hears is the keyboards of other people's laptop. It's okay. Adjusting your tone to your audience is how you're supposed to properly prepare for presentations, and also your tone on how you talk to people. When you talk to another adult, please do not talk to them like they're a little child. Like, oh, do you have to go to the bathroom before my presentation? Or are you sure you can handle all that water? Like, I can get another cup so we can split it in half. People hate getting talked down to. So, of course, there's a level of respect, but tone is also very important, especially if you're trying to convey something sarcastically. Not everyone can catch that tone. So being as clear, concise as possible is really important when talking to other people. I hope you still have your phones out, because this QR code is seeing whether or not you enjoyed the presentation.
We have about 2.5 minutes.
It's okay,
Class
because
is over.
this QR code goes into the Kahoot.
Okay.
And that's, then I just exit out and then it goes to the
Yeah, you
Kahoot.
should just be able to close that.
Hey, there we go. There you go.
While everyone's getting signed up for the Kahoots, remember that we start at 7:30 on Thursday. Please be here. I will have some snacks for us to get us started with our morning. But like half of you present that day. So be here, be on time, and ready to go. And again, we got like 3 minutes here.
Yeah, I'm just gonna start in like 20 seconds. 3, 2, 1. All right.
20 seconds.
Each question is like 10 seconds, so you better answer. I can have to wait.
Animal.
Seagulls.
Dean, stop whispering.
Doing it, click on it.
That is marketing, right?
Dude, I just killed one. Leave me alone. I didn't forget. What?
Right here. So if you answered yes, you went to my Instagram. If you answered no, you went to my LinkedIn.
Oh, Grant, don't mess it up on us.
Oh no.
That's not fair, man.
It was at the beginning of the presentation.
All right, let's see who your top, that's the last one,
Yeah.
who your top 3 are. Sarah, good job, Sarah.
Hey. Okay.
No place out with me. First place.
Yeah.
Greg, it's Keely Buck.
Yeah.
All right,
There you go.
all right, that's it for today. Make sure you turn those notes in. Go over to Academic Awards Chapel, have some food, see friends, get awards. I don't know, get awards. I don't know who's getting one. I kind of know who's getting one, but
You better figure it out.
Yeah.
Wait, students awards or class?
students getting awards.
Yeah, are you gonna be in one?
Wait until Thursday because I have nothing to put them in. Oh,
Why would I?
that works. Yeah.
Are we going over the in-class activity?
No, we're going over the exam.
You're heading out there?
If you have questions about the in-class activity, hit the email my instructor. All the questions. That's okay. Hit it on all 3 of them.